What? That's offensive to penguins and Slurpees. All right, enough of that. The Clintons keep coming back. They're like the world's wrinkliest boomerang. And they brought poor President Obama with them. The Senate Judiciary Committee is now investigating a Russian nuclear bribery case linked to the Obama White House. And they're demanding federal agencies to say whether they knew the FBI had uncovered the corruption before Obama approved a really strange Russian uranium deal. According to The Hill, which is a newspaper, not an actual mound of dirt, emails show that Russia had bribed a U.S. uranium trucking firm. The paper also reveals that the feds found alleged evidence of Russian nuke officials sending millions, I think like $100+ million, to the Clinton Foundation, while Hillary served as Secretary of State. Smells pretty bad. Yeah. Like me after a run. Yet, the media shrugged and moved on after initially reporting on it a few years ago. But now the story's back. Why? Because Donald Trump tweeted about it, saying, quote, "You don't have to clap yet. We're not there yet. Hold your clapping. Uranium deal to Russia with Clinton help and Obama administration knowledge is the biggest story that fake media doesn't want to follow." So, you see why he tweets? It forces the media to finally cover the story. Of course, their coverage is simply to mock his tweets, ignoring the legitimate grievance behind it because they're hacks. Anyway, just when you think the Clintons are gone, back they come. If there was only a cream for that.
Have you ever gotten an annoying itch that ruined your week?
Oh, I can't believe it got me too. I thought it was safe to venture out without this happening.
Well, now you can with Clintex. Clintex works by eliminating those pesky itches that stubbornly show up when it's least convenient.
My Clinton itch ruined most of 2017, but now it went away, just like it should have a long time ago. Thanks, Clintex.
So order Clintex today. Side effects may include fixing the damaged part.
America could use some Clinton. Anyway. So this is getting pretty awkward. Here, all this time, the anti-Trumpers have been accusing Trump of colluding with the Russians, when it's been that two-headed Clinton monster that's been bumping uglies with Boris. And it was known for some time. Yet what was the media up to? They were drooling like crazed simpletons over dull meetings with Donald Trump Jr. They got a massive scandal staring right at him, and they're sniffing their own fingers. Yeah, I know. But it's making me think that the whole Trump-Russia thing was a misdirection, so nobody would bother to look into Hillary's shady deals. After all, if you accuse your spouse of flirting with a coworker, she won't notice you're sleeping with her parents. We've all been there. So, what's the real outrage? It's the first 4 words of Donald's tweet: uranium deal to Russia. Think about it. We sold a crap load of uranium to Russia. What, were we clean out of anthrax spores? We sold a crap load of uranium to Russia. That's like selling steroids to Lance Armstrong or garbage to raccoons. It leads to nothing good. We sold uranium to Russians and we didn't see that as a problem. So for the past 10 months, we've been lectured that Russians aren't to be trusted by the same idiots who had no problem selling them uranium. Now silent over a shady nuke deal, they're breathless over some weird dossier paid by Fusion GPS involving hookers and water sports. I don't know about you, but in the realm of scandal, I think uranium beats urine. And I never thought I'd say that on TV. All right, let's welcome tonight's guests. He made Osama bin Laden a truly holy man. His book details how he did it. It's called The Operator. Former Navy SEAL Rob O'Neill. Looking great. She's so bright. She sneezes fireflies. Olympic media managing editor Katie Freitas. She's as glum as fisherman's chum. National Review reporter Kat Timpf. And And to him, big and tall stores are just baby gaps. Former bodyguard and my massive sidekick, Tyrus. All right, Rob. How big a deal is this? And do you have any interesting insights into the whole Hillary Clinton scandalicious?
This is so odd to me because they're always prying at the president right now, saying there's something going on with the Russians, the collusion, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And Hillary Clinton has always struck me as someone, like, during Rocky IV, she cheered for Ivan Drago, right?
Yeah.
And obviously Bill Clinton wanted the hot blonde chick. No, but it's just that's kind of what they're doing. They're trying to make something out of something they obviously did.
Right.
Just a pretty big scandal, and they're trying to blame it on President Trump for there's no proof of anything.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to get at it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Katie, there seems to be clear evidence, or more evidence, right, in this arena than there is in the Trump connection. What do you make of this?
Well, so you've got a dossier that is so bizarre, included, and like totally not true, and then you have actual specifics about deals that have occurred with Clinton, and the media doesn't care, and it just makes you look at it and say, clearly there's not so much a concern about Russia as holding a grudge against perhaps Republicans and Trump himself specifically. And you got to sit back and just be like, that's it. That's how shallow this whole thing is. That you just really don't like someone, but anything Putin may be doing is really not actually your concern.
Yeah, you know what? I think everything in life is driven by whether you like or dislike someone. Isn't that the case? I mean, at least for me, you know, I barely can stand any of you at this point. You know, Kat, it's kind of, isn't a story like this? It's like one of those hotel flashlights that exposes the stains, but the stains are biased. The stains are biased. It's like it shows when the media is for one story but not for another.
Yeah. First of all, for me, my whole life is about getting people to like me, whether I like them or not.
Right.
But I'm someone who's been fine with the Russia investigation with Trump. If there's questions, I want answers. However, if you're someone who's concerned with Trump Russia and you're not concerned with Clinton Obama Russia, you're not concerned with Russia at all.
Right.
It's not about the country for you. It's about your own bias and hatred of President Trump.
Right, exactly. All right. Tyrus, we often talk about whether it's good or bad that Donald Trump tweets.
First,
wait, let me ask, can I pose a question? I think this is a reason why Trump tweets. It's because if he doesn't tweet, no one would have even discussed this story.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, here's the thing. I'm just tired of the reality TV show that is our United States government right now. And it's not Trump's side, it's not the Clinton side, the Democrats side. I'm just over it. All everyone does is just throw stuff at each other. You did this, but you did this. I mean, I could go to any preschool in America and sit down and watch kids. He pushed me. Well, she pushed me first. Like, that's why
I'm not allowed to do that.
Yeah, well, that's on you.
Greg can't go to any preschool in America.
I can go any damn one I want to because I live right. But the point is, I've changed the channel, man. The NBA season's back on. The World Series getting ready to start. Like, I've moved on from that stuff. I'm worried about tax reform, getting that wall, health care, all that stuff. I'm with it. When that's on, I'll tune in and watch it. But as soon as if the Clintons did something and there's an investigation and the proof, then I'll watch it. If he actually did, if Trump, Mr. President Trump and his people did some stuff with Russia and it comes out, and I'll watch the actual trial. But until then, I'm not. I don't watch Housewives of Orange County. I'm not watching Crybabies of CNN. I'm not watching it.
But by the way, it's an excellent point. Because a lot of these issues that we're going through, and I've talked about it before, mean absolutely nothing. Yeah. They mean nothing. It's the real practical things, the fact that we're demolishing ISIS, which we will talk about in the next segment. Absolutely. Rob, did you have a story you wanted to tell me?
It was funny. I had dinner last week at the White House with President Trump. My wife and I, we had an intimate dinner, and he asked us.
Must be nice.
Yeah. It was very cool.
Me too.
Me too.
No, but he
you know what I did? I ordered from Taco Bell and ate it in my underwear.
It was pretty funny. He said, we're finishing. We were eating in our underwear as well.
Oh, my God.
So we finished dinner, and he said, hey, do you want to see the Lincoln bedroom? I'm like, yes, of course we do. So
Donald Trump says this.
Donald Trump, the president, President Trump said to us. So we walked upstairs. He shows us, like, President Lincoln's bed, President Lincoln's desk, and the Emancipation Proclamation signed by Lincoln, the original whatever. Right. And he goes, you realize, Rob, nobody gets to see this, unless, of course, they donate heavily to the Clinton Foundation. That was a good story to share. So that happened.
What did you eat?
We had chicken, and then we had some really bizarre 3-scoop ice cream caramel type delicious.
Did he ask about me?
After every course, so
Yes.
5 times.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Yeah, we haven't talked in a while, so I was just curious.
Every time he asked about you two, he winked at me, which is
Yes, we have a difficult relationship, and I can't get into it here. But I think we're going to move on, are we? Coming up, ISIS is on the ropes, and the media can't admit it. Coming up. He said kill them all, then they ended up dead. And now Donald Trump is taking the cred. This week, U.S.-backed forces fighting ISIS in Syria announced the jihadists have been driven out of their self-proclaimed capital in Raqqa. The president says the campaign turned a corner after he took office.
I totally changed rules of engagement. I totally changed our military. I totally changed the attitudes of the military, and they have done a fantastic job. Yeah, ISIS is now giving up. They're giving up. They're raising their hands. They're walking off. Nobody's ever seen that before.
No one. So should we care about Trump's boasting? Certainly the victory can't be overstated. Obama dismissed ISIS as the JV squad, yet Raqqa became the seat of ISIS power. And it's where they staged parades and public beheadings. Now they're nearly gone. But it wasn't all Trump. A guy I know did explain how to stop ISIS on this very show over a year ago.
we need to get boots on the ground in Syria, crush the capital of Raqqa, prove it's not divine. We can do that with the Marine Corps. I mean, it'll be a big deal, but we're able to handle them. Once we take out that divine capital, people are going to realize it's not what they thought it was, and they're going to stop the recruitment.
Your hair has grown. So,
that guy seems legit.
I think you had work done. All right. So to put it in hockey terms, goal Trump, assisted by O'Neill, won by America. We went to some ISIS members for comment. We tried. All right, Rob, we've talked about this.
Yes,
Mattis has talked about it. Graham Wood, a great writer. They shifted from a war of attrition to basically a war of annihilation.
That's it.
And that's exactly, and you also said to humiliate them. I remember you saying that.
That's it. I was saying for a long time, for many years, there was a city called Dabiq, which is northwest of Raqqa, which is the divine place where the Muslims will fight the Romans, according to their scriptures. And then we have the city of Raqqa, which is the de facto capital. And back then, I was saying we need a unilateral, like Marine Corps, to do it, but we ended up doing it with actually a coalition of Kurds and Arabs, which is great for us.
Yeah.
And we had some Americans there. But it turned out that's what you do. You get in there and you thump them. I mean, I've been saying for years that President Trump is smart enough to put someone in power in order to delegate authority, and that turns out to be General Mad Dog Mattis. He came up with the plan. As much as people want to give credit to anybody else, look, we're several months into this administration. ISIS is out in Syria now.
Yeah,
that's all it's insane.
took.
They're no longer a JV team. They're just no longer a team.
Yeah, Tyrus, this is going back to what you're saying. There's some stuff doesn't matter, but this is while everybody's freaking out over tweets and words and phone calls. This happened, and it happened amazingly fast.
Yeah, I mean, my only concern is it looks like, I don't know if they necessarily disappeared, but they're regrouping. It looks like they're showing up in Africa. They're starting to migrate.
They are regrouping, but
they're rehuddling.
They were living on the caliphate, and ISIS is the first group, the Islamic State, the first group since even the Muslim Brotherhood that said they would form an Islamic State. And if you can prove their ideology is wrong, that's how you win.
Right.
And they were going on that for a while. It was disproven. They are going to spread. We see it in Africa. We see it in Niger.
Should we be worried about the whole Philippines thing?
Oh, absolutely.
How did they get to the Philippines? I don't even go to the Philippines.
This isn't the problem is this is an ideology, and they're believing in a certain form of Wahhabism, which is a very, very radical form of Sunni Islam, and they're following that. And so these ISIS supporters, you're going to see them everywhere. There's Boko Haram, which is in Africa. There's Al Shabaab, Al Qaeda still, and Al Qaeda now they're going to be the ones popping up. Say, hey, by the way, we're still here.
Yeah,
maybe come after us. And you got Hamza bin Laden, who's bin Laden's son, who's in. Well, we know where he is. he won't be around too much longer, but
Yes.
it's bad stuff.
You should do like a victory tour and get him.
Well, what's funny too is like I'm done being a Navy SEAL, but there are younger, better-looking guys with apparently better hair because you brought that up, so they'll get him too.
I'm just saying you've got a lot more hair now.
I think marriage does
I've
that
seen
to you. I don't know what it is.
No, it just could be, you know. Once you're in TV, you got to get some work done. Kat, thoughts?
I've had work done.
Thoughts about my hair? Well, I just am not that worried about getting killed by ISIS. I just think I'm going to die another way. You know? There'll probably be soup involved somehow, too much soup, poison soup, I don't know, something cool. But I thought it was interesting that not only did he take credit, he took credit in the third person at a point. He didn't just say, they're gone, they're defeated because they weren't defeated before because I wasn't the president, it was because Trump wasn't the president. And I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start speaking in the third person, but I'm not just going to go with Kat. I'm going to go with something like cool, like maybe I'll start calling myself Old Timphy. Right? Isn't that good? Like,
you notice
I know you're sad, but Old Timphy.
You do notice too, though, that Hillary Clinton didn't have a problem claiming the Bin Laden thing.
Right.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Because she was there.
No, you know what? I disagree with all of them. I think whenever that stuff happens, credit needs to be going to the men and women that.
Of course, 100%. Absolutely.
I think that's you can say job well done, but praise them because those are the guys that are risking it all. So.
Yeah, and I think I deserve some of the credit because while they're out fighting, I'm here just like making people laugh. Katie, what do you make of this? Is it okay if he blows his own horn? Is it a little too much?
Well, I'm not really a fan most of the time of his tweets, but to Kat, I will just say that getting sick from poison soup as someone who ended up in the ER from it is not a cool way to go. It's awful and it's not attractive.
What about eating soup?
You don't want that
while suspended from a bungee cord.
If you could not spill, I'd be very impressed.
Yeah.
This block got soupy.
President Obama, for 8 years, micromanaged the military and really, I think, did a disservice to them, being able to, the people who were there and knew what was going on, being able to do what needed to be done to fight terrorism. So I totally agree that I'm happy Trump stepped back and said, these guys know far more than I, so I'm going to entrust in them to do what they need to do. But I would say that saying that ISIS is giving up would make me, because they don't.
No,
they're
you
being
can't say mission
defeated,
accomplished. We did that
but
before.
These people will come back.
It's not accomplished.
Because it's an ideology, and they hate everything about who we are, and they will come back if they're given a chance to.
Well, one of the points that I bring up too is they attacked just in Lower Manhattan in 1993. They attacked the World Trade Center. They didn't get exactly what they wanted done. They came back. 2011 as bad as it is. They remember. They're in the long fight.
And every failure is actually an education for them. They learn, and I'm sure that they learned from the Vegas, from that when they saw how meticulously planned Vegas was. They're going, okay, we can get from above by renting rooms and looking for festivals. I think they're going to do that. I also think they're going to combine drones. They're already trying with drones, I guess I've heard. So
I mean, the thing is that it's not a nation.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a creed or culture where we just blew the hell out of that one nation and they're all gone. They're indigenously gone. They're refugees. Literally, you could have 4 guys get together with money and a plan and claim to be ISIS, and you would have a new ISIS, a new cell. So that's the problem. They're never really gone because it's an idea that anyone can take on. Yeah. So that's the problem.
And the solution that I say, and we're going to talk about this in the next block, we can't just be safe. I think we have to be impervious.
Oh, how fun does that sound?
Look, Reagan had the SDI. That was about being impervious, about being able. We need technology all over.
Well, you can't be complacent.
Watching us,
damn it.
No, thank you. I would be in jail.
For doing this?
For eating soup with a cat.
On a bungee cord.
I'm glad my plan has worked.
Yes. All right, still to come. The border wall is coming, and I've got nothing to wear. Builder of the wall, what's the sturdiest of them all? This week, we got our first look at prototypes for President Trump's proposed wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. 4 are made of solid concrete, 4 incorporate steel with concrete, and 1 is made of marshmallows to attract the fat kids. I kid, they're big boned. Testing begins next week when the Department of Homeland Security will evaluate how hard each wall would be to scale, cut through, or tunnel beneath. Meanwhile, a few other prototypes have already been rejected. For example, there was this wall, but they found it too easy to climb. Then there was a wall of Pink Floyd walls, which frankly was annoying and too easy to cut through, and anti-Semitic. Then there was my idea, a wall of cups. Send that bird back. Finally, this idea was rejected for being too awesome. It was a wall of Bill Hemmer and Lou Dobbs. I don't know about you, but I prefer to climb the real thing. What do you mean? I mean a wall. You people are disgusting. Katie, do you think the wall's ever going to happen?
I mean, I can't see the future, but I imagine at least a portion
I demand
of it
that you
probably
do.
will. Hold on.
Okay.
I imagine a portion of it will probably occur. The whole thing, I don't know. But my point in all of this is, y'all have driven down the highway before, right? And there's houses on the other sides of the highway.
Yes.
And they build these really tall walls for miles and miles, only for the point of keeping the noise down for the houses on the other side of the highway.
That is so true.
So what is the big issue with them talking about building a wall here outside of, like, monetarily? How much money do we spend on those walls?
You know what? That's such a great idea. Don't make it about illegal immigration. Make it about noise. We are building this to curb the noise from Mexico.
Those damn mariachi bands. Gotta stop those mariachi bands.
By the way, I love them.
Do you love them?
I love them. I love them. I always give them money.
I'll be sending one to your home.
Yes, exactly. Kat, how about you? Do you think this is going to happen?
I don't think any of these walls would keep me out of anywhere I wanted to go, but one wall would, and that would be a wall of compliments.
Wow.
Think about it. People just stand there, Kat, you're so smart, you're so pretty. Think about it, Greg. You're not short, it doesn't matter. Oh, wow, you are. You smile, you forget all about what you were trying to do.
That was complete. That's not a compliment.
That is backhanded.
It's kind of a compliment.
She has no front hand.
No.
Hey, Tyrus, you know, you want the wall because you just like walls.
I just don't like looking at things.
Yes.
I surround myself with walls. I don't like neighbors. Good morning. That's me. Matter of fact, I was very proud this week. My 3-year-old daughter told me in the morning. I said, "Good morning, sweetheart." She said, "What's good about it?" I'm like, "You're 3. You get it."
Yes.
You know. Unfortunately, I don't think the wall's probably going to happen, but psychologically, we might not need it. I mean, the numbers on illegal immigration is way down, and they're generally the fear of coming over the country, I think, is higher than it has ever been.
Yeah.
I personally like the wall to keep the drug trade out. Has nothing to do with the illegal immigrants with me, you know.
See, I want the wall to keep the drug trade in.
What? You know what? There's so many words I'd like to say, but the way the word works now, I can't say it. But that is literally mentally the most... What's another word for... Because you can't use that. Whatever that word is, that's what I feel that statement was.
Yeah, you could just say
all the heroin and cocaine and all that stuff that gets flushed into this country on the interstates and stuff like that. If we cut that off, we won't have as many problems. The crime will drop. If you cut the head of the snake off, there's still going to be drugs, but not in that point, and not to the point where people are being massacred and killed over it. Like there's a war in the streets over control of this drug trade.
Yeah, I just wonder if you can control something that people want, no matter what.
No, I don't think you can. I think, but cutting out the group that has a monopoly on it.
Yeah.
And the Mexican mafia has a monopoly on it to the point where they run the country.
Yeah.
The president of Mexico is there because they allow him to be there.
Rob, what kind of wall do you envision? Do you think it's going to be a full wall, a partial wall?
I think it's going to need
to be wall.
It's going to need to be a partial wall because there are people that have, like at the Rio Grande, have waterfront property. They don't want that in front of them.
Right.
It needs to be in spurts. Here and there, you know, I'm all about preventing like illegal drug trade and the illegal immigrants and all that stuff too. But I think the biggest problem is going to be with the terrorists. Understand what we're doing, and not just the southern border, but the northern border.
Yeah.
And when they do come across, I don't want to get all morbid. When they do come across, and there's a massive suicide bombing in an elementary school,
I gotcha.
We will knee-jerk react. Well, why don't we have a wall?
I agree. I agree.
It sucks.
It's not about Mexico.
It has nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do. It has to do with one man and a dirty bomb getting in here.
And wait and see. They're going to do it. They're very, very aware of what they're doing. And regardless if we like it or not, there are people that want to kill us all simply because of the way we look.
So this is a perfect segue.
Yes.
I don't want a wall. I want a dome. I'm not kidding. I go back to what I said about imperviousness and the SDI.
I don't even know what that word means.
I like the sky. I think it's nice sometimes.
No. I'm talking about the fact that if you could create with technology a dome that would just monitor every part of the United States, who give a wall?
That sounds like hell.
No, it's heaven.
What if it compliments you?
Maybe then, yeah.
You can't have freedom without security, Kat.
Well, just beef up security. Add some more drones on the board. I mean, we have the technology now to where it can really make.
I wish there was a wall on the plane that I flew up here in, because this is a sweat on my chin. That's tequila.
Oh, that explains a lot. All right. On that note, he's always doing shots.
I get it. I get it.
Terrible.
Coming up.
That was real bad.
Well, we joke about the death of the person. No, who deserved it. The UK wants to ban surgeries for my two favorite people, smokers and obese. The debate and all of debates next. They say you can't have it if you've got a bad habit. A new proposal by England's National Health Service, UGH, would ban surgeries there for smokers and the obese. Under the new rules, smokers could only get surgery if they've stopped smoking for 8 weeks, after which they get a breathalyzer test to make sure they really quit. And obese patients could only receive non-urgent surgeries if they reduce their weight. Those who propose the plan say it should encourage people to, quote, take more responsibility for their own health and well-being wherever possible, freeing up limited NHS resources for priority treatment. Limited resources. This is where single-payer healthcare ends up. The rationing of resources makes you wonder what unhealthy lifestyles could be targeted next. Hopefully this. Uncle Steve. Never changes, does he? Kat, should a person who keeps himself or herself in good shape get ahead in line for surgery if you aren't?
No.
No? Why?
Because all my habits are bad habits. It's a slippery slope argument, right?
Yes.
Like everything is bad for you.
Right.
I did some research. Everything but steamed broccoli, water, and meditation is terrible for you.
You can drown in water.
So if anybody, drinking water, yeah. So if anybody, only in little cups at a time so you don't drown. And supervised, of course. You should never drink water alone. It's too dangerous. Have any of us done anything else today?
Yeah.
If so, we could be next.
Yeah.
No surgery for us. I ate some cheese today, so that's not good for you.
It's true. It is a slippery slope, Tyrus.
Huh?
Do you think this will work? I mean, like, I'm against
I
rationing.
love this. I think this is the best idea ever.
Okay, go for
I
it.
think 100%.
Yeah.
Communism?
Yeah, whatever. If that means you have to take responsibility, which we need to do. You
Yeah.
take responsibility for your actions. It has a little warning label when you smoke cigarettes. It says this could cause cancer, whatever, and it should say, hashtag, if you keep doing this, it's going to limit your operation eligibility because you're taking a health risk. So why should I have to pay for it, or they have to pay for it because you openly, knowingly did that? If you continue to gain weight and you're obese and you want to get a surgery and stuff like that, but you chose to do those things, and I think you should have to. You have to prove, if you can't afford to pay for it yourself,
Right.
you should have to prove.
This makes me
that
want
you
to
want it.
start
I think it's
smoking,
great. I think
just
it's great.
knowing there's governments out there
But
telling
you
people
took
what to
that
do
choice.
like this.
You took that choice, and let's say you chose to smoke. I chose not to. You got cancer. Why do I have to pay for it?
Well, you bring up an interesting point. Katie could free healthcare have created this monster because it doesn't persuade people to be less healthy if the procedures are free? So you start eating more and smoking because you know you can get anything you want.
Well, this isn't. It's same with income. You know, if you lose your job and government assistance,
right.
A lot of the time people don't have the incentive to go back to work because they're provided enough monetarily that they don't need to. And it's the same with that in the sense that if you're provided for in whatever way, you have less of an incentive to perhaps do things you wouldn't otherwise do, like smoke less or drink less, and so on. But I don't actually disagree with the premise, except for that last bit about the limited resources.
Right.
Because it's the same thing if you've ever gone in for a surgery, they may tell you don't eat 24 hours beforehand if they intubate you because unpleasant things can happen and you can end up choking and dying.
Right.
So in that sense, if they say, look, this surgery has a high risk of you dying because you're so morbidly obese,
right.
and we want you to try and take some time to lose weight to lessen the chance that you die in the operating table, I don't think anything's wrong with that.
That's not what they're doing, though. They're being,
I know,
they're
exactly.
being judges. They're being judges.
The limited rationing part, that's what concerns me. But I also understand if a doctor doesn't want to be sued because they operate on someone who ends up croaking on the table.
And also, it's got to be hard to operate on the obese, I mean, really big, because it's harder to find. But anyway, Rob, the veterans, you know, they had a single-payer kind of government-run health care for decades. How did that work out? It's
working out now well. A lot of the new changes that are coming are the VA was a complete mess. It still has got a lot of problems. They're trying to change it out to try to get better care for better people because I think we're down to like 20 suicides a day from veterans, which is horrible, obviously. But I mean, the thing with healthcare, again, that's not my area of expertise, but I think people should have access to healthcare when they can. I mean, I've been overseas a lot in places where it says on the cigarette box, "Smoking kills."
Right.
That's the warning. And I have a couple pops, and all of a sudden, I'll burn a couple butts.
Oh, I've never been with you when you do that. Never noticed you smoking.
Yeah. So
my wife did. And I was,
you got in trouble for that one.
Oh, I got in a lot of trouble for that one.
That was actually the best story of my wedding. You get in trouble at my wedding.
Yeah, I know.
We were there.
Yes. Yes. If there was a couch I could sleep on.
Oh, right.
You know, but the slippery slope. They don't mind targeting the obese and smokers because you can do that. But what if you targeted the promiscuous who engage in risky behavior? If you go in that direction, you will be screwed. If you say you have a lot of sex partners and you have a high risk of this, you can't have that. Then that's over. You can't.
How do you prove that?
We're still talking about the guys at my wedding?
Yes. I got to move on because we got to talk about Halloween. Still to come. Colleges are cracking down on Halloween costumes. The story we only do once a year around this time. Southern Indiana, Northern Arizona, New Hampshire. They're not just the names of my 3 superfluous nipples. There are also universities that are warning students what not to wear for Halloween. According to the College Fix, those schools and others are using flyers and workshops to teach students how to avoid offensive costumes. Blah. Princeton and Vanderbilt will also host events on cultural appropriation, while at the University of Utah, a letter to student reads, quote, does the costume include race-related hair accessories, dreadlocks, afros, cornrows, headdress? Does the costume play into racial stereotypes? If you answer yes to any of these questions, you should rethink the costume and try again. Look, if you're a college student and you're not sure what to be for Halloween, there's an easy solution. Just do what I did last year. I went as a trampoline.
100,000 pounds. But surely most buyers will be. Oh my God! Trampoline! Trampoline! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Could not get a cab that night. Here I have a theory, Katie. They should not have any ghosts, zombies, or mummies because you're culturally appropriating the dead.
Ooh.
Right?
That's spicy. I appreciate it. But I mean, you could argue for mummies because that's cultural.
Yeah, Egypt.
You can't do that because that's offensive.
Yeah, it's Egypt, right? I think.
But, I mean, I cannot wait to see these people in the real world. When they leave college and they're suddenly faced with a reality that is not nearly so isolated and insulated and protected as the bubble they're in right now. I can't wait for it. There's going to be so many tears.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
I have a great idea. Rob,
Yes.
for Halloween, you've got to go as Osama bin Laden.
That would be spicy.
Well, that might actually work out well, too, because I can come into a room and say, where you been, Laden?
You know who did that? Russell Brand. Remember September 11th? Halloween he came to MTV dressed as Osama bin Laden.
Wow.
And I think he lost his job, but you should do it.
That's not a bad idea.
Or come as Russell
Well,
Brand.
I was thinking I was going to go as Vanilla Ice just because it's like not offensive at all. He's a really crappy rapper that looks white, kind of like myself. Like, when did we become so hypersensitive about this stuff? Why is everything so? I think I joined the Navy because of the Village People. And I think that they kind of covered everything, right?
Yes. I got into construction for the same thing. Or at least that's what I told my parents. Tyrus!
Yo.
Thoughts?
I'm staying inside. I don't.
I hate Halloween, by the way.
I just don't give a damn no more. I mean, and here's the thing: it's not so much the students, it's the curriculum, it's the professors and the counselors that are preaching this stuff. Like, you can't. What costume can you wear that's not offensive? I mean, it don't matter. You can be, no matter what you are, you're going to offend somebody.
Yeah.
You know, you dress up as Iron Man. Oh, you think you're a fictitious character? You think you're better than me? You think you're a god? You know, it doesn't matter what you wear. Someone's going to have a problem with it. So I don't like Halloween anyway because, unfortunately for me, Halloween's every day of the week. Every time I walk by someone, freak! Oh my God, look at him. So, you know, I don't dress up. But I just think it's sad that that's what we spend our time with, giving people what they can and cannot wear. That's you know.
Well, okay, before I go to Kat, Rob, you and your wife. You have to go as bin Laden, and your wife has to go as you. That's awesome. So, Kat, I have an idea for a new costume that everybody should wear. It's where you look depressed, malnourished, and sad. You'd be going as a Radiohead fan.
Yes.
Radiohead fan, Kat.
Yeah.
Radiohead fan, Kat.
I did say on the show a couple weeks ago that I was very into men that were strange, malnourished, and sad, and that I ended up dating a lot of Radiohead fans because they all fit into that group.
Yes.
Now they're all very, very mad at me.
So they're malnourished.
They're mad at me, but you know what? I wasn't saying it was bad. I was saying it's sexy. And also, in what universe am I not strange, malnourished, and sad? I'm like Captain Strange, malnourished, and sad. And it's really depressing because now they're not going to be interested in me anymore. I'm going to have to start dating guys that I cannot share genes with. And I wish that I would have joked about something less serious like religion or war. Would have been much less divisive than this has been.
You know, Kat, the interesting thing is like, Radiohead is a fine band, but they stole everything from Coldplay.
Yeah. Another bunch of sad
You're just
people.
stirring the pot, huh?
Yeah, I am. No, it's like Radiohead is the poor man's Coldplay.
I'm going to be in so
Aren't they up for the rock and roll?
And I'm going to get in.
We did that
They
segment.
have a lot of support.
You guys are going to make me leave here and go listen to a bunch of Nickelback, huh? What are we doing?
Man. No one ever has to do that. All right. Don't go anywhere.
Ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
Millions of us suffer from the symptoms of dry eye. TheraTear's unique electrolyte formula corrects the salt imbalance that causes dry eye, so your eyes will thank you. More than eye drops, dry eye therapy. TheraTears.
Don't forget, I'll see you Monday on the 5 at 5 p.m. Eastern. Finally tonight.
What you've wanted to say all show, but haven't had the chance to say, so here's your chance to say it. Right now.
Rob.
Brian Fallon from CNN called out the Chief of Staff, General Kelly, about a speech that he gave called him odious, said don't be distracted by the uniform. This coming from a guy that's never defended anything. I want to say right now that that's a 4-star Marine Corps general. I will pay for the venue, the lights, the ring, and the crowd to watch General Kelly hand him his ass.
I did not know he owned a donkey. Katie?
I run a gaming and esports newsletter called The Daily Walkthrough. So for all of you nerds out there, it's free. Subscribe. Come game with me. Come hang out. And I promise you will not regret it.
Oh, all right. And that is it. No time for the other two. Thanks to Rob O'Neill. What?
Lee Major's rules.
Oh, okay. Rob O'Neill, Katie Freitas, Catherine, Tyrus, our studio audience. I'm Greg Gutfeld. I love you, America.